Welcome to Christian Men Unscripted. I'm your host, Alan Underwood. I'm here with John Harney, and Seth is not here today. He's hungover from the Super Bowl because he drinks so much.
Yeah.
No, he's not. No. We record this the day after the Super Bowl. It'll come out tomorrow, so Tuesday. Did you watch the Super Bowl, John?
Dude, you know.
It was boring.
So isn't that funny, dude? And by the way, as soon as we start talking sports, like we just said, we normally very much talk about nothing all the time because
point.
Yeah, like unscripted. We're
Right.
a really unscripted thing here, and we just said, what should we even talk about? Well, the Super Bowl was yesterday, so I guess,
Yeah.
and that's easy for you because sports is your wheelhouse quickly. But I
Uh,
don't know, dude. Like, what do you think? Two things. Okay, I watched the Super Bowl, of course,
right.
and I had no real skin in the game. I personally wanted Buffalo to end up in the Super Bowl,
too.
and so
We
when
talked
Philly
about
did,
that.
I was like, okay. And you see, there's a few guys on Philly, like you know how you get to know some players, and I'm like, okay, these guys are awesome.
Right.
But I'll be honest, I really wanted Patrick Mahomes to get the three-peat. And I do not like KC.
Yeah,
I think
same.
because I don't like Taylor Swift or something, maybe.
Well, that's what I want to talk about that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I really did want to see Patrick Mahomes get that.
Yeah, I was
I
was rooting for him. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of Kansas City. I mean,
Yeah.
one way or other, I think a lot of people don't like Kansas City now because once you start winning, people get mad. They're
Isn't
like,
that funny,
why
though,
my
dude?
team doesn't win? I want to win. And I was kind of like that, but I do like Mahomes.
Yeah.
I like Kelsey. And Taylor Swift thing is funny because she got booed. And then she was like side-eyeing her friend. She got booed big time at the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
really? Okay.
I was like, and then Trump was there, and he got a big cheer, and then he wrote something on his social media posts, which we talk about with Trump. I'm like, why do you have to do that? You just alienate so many people when you do something. Just leave it. Yeah, she
Yeah.
got booed. I don't know why she got booed. I don't like her music. I'm too old for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But she's never done anything to me to make me
No,
want to boo her.
here, I actually like her music. If I'm being honest, I think she's talented.
Yeah,
she's a great writer. I have a daughter. You know, my
Yeah.
daughter is a little bit older than yours, and she
Yeah.
was more probably the Taylor Swift era.
Yeah.
You know, so she's super talented. I don't know how all of a sudden we're transitioning to that, but I guess because it matches, right?
It's with the Super Bowl. That's the only thing that stood out to me with the Super Bowl because the game was
When
boring.
did that happen, dude? Because the game was so
beginning.
boring. I ended up just talking to everybody.
Right
You know what I
at
mean?
the beginning when
okay,
she was there, and then Trump was there for
I saw
first
him.
president to ever go to a Super
which is
Bowl.
kind of neat.
Yeah,
That's a
it's cool.
historical kind of a neat thing.
But then this morning he's like, the only one who had a worse day than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift getting booed.
oh,
And then
man,
he's
okay.
like, MAGA doesn't forget. I was like, man, you don't really have to do that.
Yeah.
And those are the things about him where I'm like, come on, man, as a president, just
know.
leave it. But
Yeah.
but I still like what he's doing. So, but I mean, she trolled J.D. Vance during the election with her taking a picture saying she's voting for Kamala Harris with her cats because he made some comment about single cat lady. So, I mean, if you're going to troll somebody, I guess you should be able to be trolled too.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know if you want it from the president of the United States,
yeah.
or you expect it. But I guess we've come to expect that from him. So
right.
some people
exactly.
love it, some people hate it. Whatever. You don't need to, but it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Isn't that funny? So I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
I don't know why that I missed all that.
Yeah.
Well, I do know why for starters. Was it once the game started?
It was
Or
during
kinda
the
right before.
national anthem type
Okay.
stuff.
I missed all that. We left to go to a Super Bowl party. Nothing big, you know what I mean?
Right.
We were just going to some friend's house.
Yeah.
And but we were halfway to their, not even 9/10 of the way to their house.
Right.
And my wife, who I love, she's awesome.
You
My wife
preface
is
that.
like-
Apparently you had to preface that for what's coming.
Well, because my wife was like, I left my curling iron on. I was like, well, will it automatically turn off? You know what I mean? Like
I think they do that. We don't know that, but
I
they
d-
do.
Well, like an iron does. My iron does for the
I know.
clothes.
Yep.
But she's kind of got an older curling iron, dude. So we're driving. We're like, almost, and I was like, well, okay, well then I'll go turn it off. I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
But let's at least drop off the food, everything I said, because I was hoping to get to the house before the national anthem. I was
Right.
watching all the pregame. You know,
Yeah.
the day was a pregame show.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're within 30 minutes now. Now I want to see the national anthem. I want to see, because I know the president's there. I want to see all the stuff.
Right.
And she was like, I left curling iron. I'm like, all right, well, we're pulling in the gate almost.
Let me guess. She didn't leave it on.
No, that would have been funnier. That would have been funnier. No, so she did, and she was like, no, I'll just go with you. So now I'm
Right.
kind of like, I'm flipping around. I'm hauling butt back to the house. Now I'm driving like a jerk kind of because I'm like, literally, I timed it perfectly to catch all that pregame stuff, but like that last end of because I didn't see the national anthem, nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time we got there, it was already like the game was on. It was I can't remember, but it was already a few minutes play.
Yeah.
So I missed all of that.
Yep.
So, but yeah, she did leave it on, and it had not turned itself off.
Was it on the counter?
It was like on our bathroom counter.
Nothing
Yeah.
that would catch fire, probably.
I wouldn't think so, but I guess
You don't want to take that chance.
Right.
But it's like, did I leave the garage door open? Did I lock the door?
Oh, I hate
and
that
I
stuff.
always do close it, and I always do lock the door. It's just a habit,
Yeah.
because you're used to it.
But I have left things open,
Right?
so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
same. Yeah.
so it's
Especially
a
at
valid
our
concern.
advanced age now.
Okay. Listen,
Yeah.
I do. I want to share something too. You just mentioned it. I'm wondering if it's my mind. Just this morning, I wake up. Okay,
Yeah.
I have a routine. I don't know if you have a routine
I have a routine.
on coffee and stuff like that.
Coffee
in
and
the
poop. Wait, disregard that. I'll bleep that out. That's
morning.
gross.
Yeah, but it's normal. Everybody poops. There's a book about it. But
kid's
anyways,
book.
yeah. But so I do a thing where I fill up my coffee pot. Look how on a tangent we are right now. But I fill up like my coffee maker thingy. I fill up the water. I do the coffee ahead of time. I put everything. I get all ready. I don't set the timer because I'm retired and I can kind of wake up when I want besides church stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I usually wake up kind of early anyways. But I want to be able to just walk in and just push the button, like, blip, and let it get going.
Yeah.
Right? All right. I've done that for years, bro. Okay. This morning, I don't know what happened. Maybe because of the Super Bowl yesterday or day before. Now it's Tuesday, I get it. But Sunday, all that stuff. I go in there, I push the button, and it comes on, and I look, and I'm like, wait a minute. Well, how is it already ready? Because, a minute later, normally, then I go pray. I do all these, just my routine. I'm not trying to sound all spiritual, but, But I go back and I'm like, and I can hear it making noises. Dude, I forgot to put water in it. All right. So, okay, that's fine.
I've done.
Well, but then I'm like, now I pull the pot out because I'm like, it's no way it's done. So I pull the pot out because I have like this stainless steel pot, so you can't see inside of it. So I pull it out. I'm like, it's empty, dude. So I set it on the counter. Then I go get the water. Now I fill the thing up with water. I got to get like a little measuring cup or whatever. Fill it up with water. And it's spattering because it's like trying to cook water. So then I walk away again because I hear it start going again.
Yeah.
Guess what I forgot to do?
Put the pot under it.
Put the pot under it.
I've done.
Dude. And I'm like, bro, what is happening with me right now? Because I'm so routine on that, and I totally screwed up the whole thing.
That's funny. The same thing I did. So I have a Keurig. We use the Keurig, and like I'll get up in the morning. I put my Keurig pod in. It's McDonald's. We use the McDonald's pods, or sometimes donut shop, and I forget to put the cup under, and it just
making coffee all over the counter.
Yep. And then I use creamer. Some guys but I put a little bit of creamer in, and like I drink orange juice, a coffee, and I have a bagel every morning.
Yeah.
But what I've done twice in the last year, I remember twice, is taking the orange juice and put it in my coffee as creamer. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not awake yet.
Yeah.
And I'm getting very old. So I feel like I've never tasted it. I wonder how it would taste in coffee.
It might not be too bad, or maybe it'd be a little too acidic. But
yeah.
Dude,
I did that last week. The
Okay.
orange juice, not the cup. It's been a couple months since I forgot to put the cup.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, dude. That was and here I was though. What's funny about that is
Your routine.
that's a routine thing. But here I was kind of mad at my wife because like we were almost to the Super Bowl party, and I wanted to watch all the national anthem and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I ended up having to drive all the way home.
How far was it? Far?
Not crazy far, but like
Oh, okay.
I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever. But whatever it was, it cost me the entire about 30 minutes total, right?
Yeah.
It cost me the whole. But the point also. We had just been in Phoenix. My daughter got engaged. Did I tell you this?
No.
Okay. So
She's now engaged.
she's now engaged.
Oh,
And
very good.
both her and her fiance, which was the boyfriend at the time, have been on the show. But
Yeah.
we literally were at lunch the day after the engagement party in Phoenix. This past Saturday. And my wife was literally kind of explaining because he went all overboard and is beautiful and did this proposal.
That's
and,
very good.
And I think you and I have both shared how our proposal was like the most
Terrible.
awesome. And from
We've
mine
been
was
married
like,
a long
yeah.
time, so.
Yeah, but we've been married 30 years,
Yeah.
dude. And, so we were kind of having this little lunch conversation, and I was like, yeah, you really went all out. Like, that's awesome. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I wish I was.
But don't you feel like if you start at the bottom, there, it's only up from here.
You are
He's got a lot to live up to now.
You're exactly correct.
We worked our way up to being.
I'm 30 years later, dude, I'm barely just now starting to kind of get it right sometimes.
Same.
But here's what's funny about that. So my wife is like, well, here's the thing,
got a
though,
standard
Nolan.
now.
His name's Nolan, right?
Yep.
So we're sitting at lunch, and I don't remember how the conversation got started. He probably was not asking for advice. We were probably just forcing it down his throat. That's normally how I do things. And so I think we were kind of just telling him, like, if you're going to have a good marriage, you got to be this, right?
Right.
And my wife is like, well, here's the thing. Even though John's not real romantic, like he didn't do a big proposal like you did and stuff.
Right.
She's like, he does do sweet things. Like I forget to turn my iron off at home or whatever she said. Like she may have said that verbatim. She might have set herself up for this.
Yeah.
But he's really sweet, and he'll just go back, or I forget something at the house, and he'll just go back or whatever.
Right.
So Super Bowl Sunday, we're driving back to the house, and I'm like, she's like, well, I just want to make sure that we don't burn the house. I'm like, I don't care if we burn the house down. I can't believe it. She was like, I just told Nolan how you do this sweet thing. She's like, maybe what I should have told him was like, but when you do go back to the house when the wife forgets something, be sweet about it.
Be sweet about it.
I'm like,
I have a bad time with that too. I lose my temper real quick, and then I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think my daughter drove because we all know she got in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been a little nervous to drive, but she's decided to go out Thursday with her friends to go to a movie. It was her friend's birthday. They went to her house, had cake, and it was pretty far from our house. And she was driving. I'm like, oh. So I watch her. You got Life 360, and I'm like, just take this surface road, Pecos, all the way to our house, and this and that. Then she's like driving the wrong way, and I'm throwing my phone. My wife's like, why are you getting so mad? I'm like, I have no idea. She's just going not the way I told her. And then she walks in the door. She's like, I made it home safe. I didn't die and I didn't crash. I'm like, oh, very good. So I don't know. We just I think that's just us. It's hard to change, but I'm better at catching it and apologizing for it. Normally I'm like, so what? And then I just stay mad. But
oh
not
my
anymore.
gosh, dude.
God has changed me.
Well, isn't right? Like, but we're a work in progress.
Yeah.
All the time, but I still fail all the time.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, I see us getting better, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I still, why do I have to make like kind of like my wife forgetting that? Like, why?
Yeah.
I got to go back and turn it off. Like, I forget stuff. But when it's me, I might be mad at myself, but like, she doesn't get real mad at me, but then I kind of get mad. I don't know. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's kind of a one-way street on that one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you shouldn't forget anything. I don't,
But then we do the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
Hypocrites.
Yeah, kind of hypocritical, which is, by the way, I was just kind of sharing that. Let's talk about biblical topics for a second.
Okay.
That is, as we're saying, as we're growing, because we are a Christian podcast, and that is actually, the word for, like, to be sincere in the Bible when it says, like, you should be sincere in your faith and stuff. And that has to do with our own personal growth, that we really should be sincere. But the word is actually like either ani or anu hupokrito or whatever, which is don't be an actor. That's what that's saying. When you're a hypocrite, quit being an actor. You got to be genuine. You got to be real. And so I'm trying to be better,
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to you guys about that. I feel like sometimes I'm genuine, not genuine about my humbleness. I'm like, I'm a fake humble, so they think I'm humble.
Look at how humble I am.
Yeah, no, don't look at me. But look at me I'm saying not to look at me type thing.
On another...
I'm better at that now. I really don't care.
Except for you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what else is new? Okay, so you watched the Super Bowl. What did you guys do for the Super Bowl?
Okay. So we had some friends over from church, our small group. It was good. My buddy Doug Jones, shout out Doug Jones, made it fun. He brought over, we all pitched in $5, and we did this. It's like a party game. Okay. And it had 24 questions, like who will have the first touchdown? Will Taylor Swift be shown under 9 times or over 9 times? Will Saquon? And there's 24 questions, all about Super Bowl, all about certain things, and I ended up winning.
Oh, wow. Like the weird prop bet kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just for a party, not for like a sports book, but he printed it out. So we were, the whole game, it didn't matter what the game was because we're like, oh, there's a bet.
That's actually pretty fun, dude.
Yeah. So you win like $50 and it was fun.
So isn't that funny? So you always, let's just talk about this for a minute because it is fun, and by the way, doing life together, I love that on the spiritual side of things that you're hanging out with like a church group of friends and that's awesome, because you should do life together as believers.
Right.
It's just sometimes I don't feel like it because my believer friends are not as fun as my unbelieving friends. Is that fair? Most of my friends are believers. I shouldn't say it that way. How about this? My church friends sometimes aren't as fun as even though they're believers, but they don't go to my church. So maybe I am still doing life with believers, but it's just not a small group like
Right.
Yeah.
And
by the way, they're all great. It's just, you end up with these groups.
Yeah, you have to say that. You always dig a hole every
time. I'm the worst, dude.
You're like, no, they're good.
So what other games do you like?
Like
during the Super Bowl, like what other we all would do
squares,
right?
I like the squares.
Yeah.
I've never won on squares. I had 2 squares and I paid $20. You can win 200, 400, and my numbers were 2 and 4. And 2 is a terrible number to have in squares. 4 is okay, 7's okay, 0 is okay, but 2.
I always get the worst numbers too.
Yeah.
Dude, I always get like the 3, the 2, the 5.
Yeah,
I always get all these
fives, all the
that are taken. Yeah, they
prime
take
numbers.
Weird. Yeah, I literally, dude, I bought $50 worth of squares. Okay, so we do squares almost every party, right? Every year, I want to hear a little bit more about the prop bet thing. That's awesome, because we do the squares. We did $5 squares, 125 a quarter for the winnings, and I did $50, thinking
You got to win one.
Come on, man.
Get your money back.
I got to get in here, right? Get something. Dude, I got every number. You're exactly right. It was some oddball prime number that is almost impossible to hit. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, dude.
That's
and
funny.
I did $50, and one of the young ladies, a good friend of mine. Actually, it was a great lady that goes to our church. So come to think of it, we do kind of still do all that.
Yeah.
And her daughter, Sophie, had $5. We love, she's a kid.
Yeah.
Kids got in, whatever. We didn't care.
Yep,
She put in $5. first. I think she won second quarter. She won the second quarter winnings for $5 invest. I'm over here $50 in it. I'm like, hey,
$5, yeah.
And she does one.
Yep.
So how fun?
That's how it works, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think
food,
it's awesome.
dude? What do you guys do for food?
This time we did a quote-unquote Italian theme. We did pizza, meatball subs. My wife made lemon bars from our big old lemon tree in the backyard. They're the best. She makes great lemon bars from our tree. I don't know why.
Lemon bars are delicious.
Yeah, they're very sweet, though.
What's your favorite Super Bowl food item?
My favorite item is chicken wings.
Yeah, pretty common. Yeah, that's.
But we didn't have it. We did meatball subs. But we bought this bread. The only bread we could find. It wasn't great, so I mainly just had meatballs without the bread. My wife made homemade meatballs, which were really good. My grandma's old recipe. Delicious.
Okay.
And we had pizza. We had somebody brought a salad from Olive Garden. I think they made it, but it's Olive Garden salad. It was good.
Which is delicious.
And some avocado dip. Not avocado dip. Artichoke dip.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, I think they call that guacamole, but okay.
Avocado, artichoke, same thing. Yeah, it was all good. And then, and we had, we had some Coors Light. If I drink more than 3 Coors Lights, I'm done. And
that's funny, dude.
So I can only drink like 2 or 3 because then I just fall asleep. So I don't drink a lot.
No.
And that was about it. And bought a lot of soda. My daughter, she was the worst one at the game. She had one until the end. Like one of the ones was Gatorade color. The Gatorade that stumped on the coach, and it was yellow, and I picked yellow. Lucky.
Oh.
I just picked a neutral color.
Yeah.
What else were there? Other questions? I don't remember, but who wins the game, over, under? Who's the MVP? Yeah, I got 15 out of 24.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. My son was second. He had 13, I think.
Dang.
See, and he don't know anything.
He just
it's just all guess. All of it, it's a guess.
Of course.
There's no
especially
skill
if
in
you're
it.
talking like how many times are they going to show Taylor
Swift.
That kind of
whatever,
right?
No, I don't think they've ever shown her 9.5 times in a game.
Yeah.
So that was easy. Oh, under that. Yeah.
Okay. That is.
But I
funny.
didn't like go to the sports book and bet or anything like that. I used to do that a long time ago, but I never win, so that's pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always love all those.
What'd you
prop bets
guys
and
eat?
Stuff. Well, so we did. My buddy Ryan, he actually grilled burgers, and they were actually delicious burgers. He did a really nice job. I think because he toasted the buns, he got really good buns and stuff. But
buns are key, and if you melt the cheese, you have a cheeseburger.
Yeah,
it's got to be really melted, like almost where it's into the patty.
Yeah. And I'm a big American cheese fan on the cheeseburger thing. But my favorite thing, and in fact, I'm really excited because I'll just have my wife make it for dinner all the time. Is like I'm a chip and dip guy and appetizers and charcuterie kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And my wife makes this chili dip, and it's my favorite thing that she makes.
Your wife is a good cook. Every time I've had something that she has is really good.
She is, dude. Yeah. She is. I'm really blessed. But she makes this chili
My
dip.
wife is a good cook, too. I'm sorry, Kim. You made great
Kim
meatballs.
is awesome. Yeah, she's one of the best cooks. Clearly makes the best lemon bars we've ever heard
and
of.
meatballs.
And meatballs that are delicious. Yeah. So, but yeah, she makes this chili dip, and it's kind of like a cream, like every half of the dips out there, like a cream cheese, but it has like chili, like no bean chili kind of thing. But it has like green olives and jalapenos and cheese and stuff. Dude, it's
hungry.
delicious. Same. Yeah, it's delicious. So anyway, and I'm sure there's families that kind of have their thing too, but that's kind of our thing, I guess.
Yeah, the funny thing about my wife is like we'll do these parties. Like I told you, we did Christmas. Our small group, we do a lot of stuff. We do like Christmas, Friendsgiving, New Year's Eve. We always do stuff, and my wife's like, I don't want to do a party. I'm tired of this. I'm like, well, don't worry about it. Don't cook. I'll just go get something. You know. No, she always does so much. She goes over above and beyond, and she enjoys it. I know she does. She don't like football, but we didn't really watch the game. We just had fun doing that, and she had fun doing it.
Well,
I think she likes to cook and make stuff, but she don't like to watch football.
I suppose if you're like a diehard Philly fan, you loved every aspect of that game. Right. But if you're not, if you're kind of just, you wanted kind of like us, I'm kind of neutral on. I was kind of neutral on it. I was kind of pulling for Philly, but I also wanted Mahomes. So I was literally, you know what I mean? I was like,
same.
And so pretty quickly into the game, you're like, dude, Philly's already picking KC apart here,
and they were killing Mahomes. He couldn't do anything.
They got him picked apart on both ends, both sides. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of like. So now you end up in conversation. I didn't watch one commercial, by the way. Didn't watch one. I forgot about Super Bowl commercials being a thing.
Yeah,
just because I was.
That was one of the questions. Like, will the first commercial be a movie commercial, a beer commercial, a product commercial, or a technology commercial?
What was it?
It was a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. After the game started, after the kickoff, the first commercial was Dunkin' Donuts with Ben Affleck.
Was it good? I don't even know. I didn't.
Yeah,
see
it was
any.
good, but everybody's so loud it's hard to hear.
I literally didn't.
But it was
see
fun.
one. Yeah, you know how that's a thing too.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch one. I was actually at one point. It was toward the end of the game. I saw Harrison Ford on the screen driving a Jeep, so he clearly was in a Jeep commercial.
Oh, that commercial was long and boring.
Okay, so I saw that and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "What's funny?" It kind of prompted my memory and I'm talking, bro, it was like 5 minutes left in the game or whatever it was. I was like, I totally forgot to like watch the commercials.
Did you watch a halftime show?
Nah, not really. Kind of.
The
I don't
Kendrick
even know
Lamar.
See, I don't know who that is.
I do because I listen to him sometimes at the gym,
Okay.
and everybody's like, "You listen to rap?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Like, I like some
I
rap,
do.
too. Okay,
I was like,
so I
I do.
don't
I
really-
like him. It was good. He was good. I thought it was good, and I saw some people don't like it. They're thinking he was trying to be anti-American because they said end racism. I saw it online, but I think that's people putting too much thought on anything. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I saw it in the background. I don't know who he is. I mean, I've heard the name. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, yeah. I mean, I think younger people. I listened to a couple of songs when I'm at the gym and stuff, but yeah, I thought it was good.
Okay, what about this? So we're still on the Super Bowl topic.
Yeah,
This
we'll make
morning,
the Super Bowl episode.
might as well. This morning, I'm jumping on the computer to do something, and the news feed was like that people are all mad at Snoop Dogg for like an end racism or an end hatred.
Oh yeah, I
What
don't
was
know.
that all
He did
about?
a commercial with Snoop Dogg.
Tom Brady or something on it? I don't
Was
know.
it Tom Brady? I
have
don't
no
remember.
idea.
Where
I
it's
didn't
like, I
see
hate
it.
you because of this, and I hate you because of that, and I hate you because you don't understand me. And then at the end, I can't remember the whole commercial. They were like, I hate that we have to even talk about this. I don't know. I didn't think about it one way or the other. I didn't think it was horrible.
Okay, again, I didn't see any of the.
But I don't
just
put a
saw
lot
that
of
that
thought
one was
into those
controversial.
things. A lot of people put a lot of thought into things, and I do sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know. Like they took the end racism out of the end zone
Okay.
before the game.
Okay.
And like a lot of people thought it was because of Trump and this and that. And it's so funny. I was watching Bill Maher. I just see clips. I don't watch a lot of stuff like that. But he's like, I think it's great because you think that if you just put end racism on there, the racists are going to go, oh,
Yeah. Right.
right.
Yeah.
End racism. Okay. Or
Right.
do you think it means nothing? It doesn't do anything. There's going to be racism no matter what. You're
Right.
not going to change people's mind by putting someone in the end zone.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't understand it. But
Yeah, he's not wrong though. That is funny.
but-
I say that every game. I'm like, who? Like people who are racist. You're exactly. They're not gonna be like, oh,
the NFL says end racism. I'm not going to be a racist
I guess
anymore.
I should stop. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
like you know.
that's just a culture, man. Some of those racists, they just pass it on from generation to generation down
Well,
here.
there's just an ignorance and
Yeah.
and
I mean, heck, I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up in a family where I'd go visit family in Ohio, and like my uncles, they're passed away now. They'd be like this N word, this and this N word that, and I grew up and like my friends were all black, and I played basketball
Yeah.
my whole life,
Yep.
and I was like, well, this is odd,
Right.
you know. But as a little kid, I'm not gonna be like, you shouldn't say that, uncle, whatever.
Right.
And-
Yeah.
But I seen it in my family, but I knew it. I've always known it was out there, but it never affected me because where I lived, all my friends were black, Hispanic, white, whatever, because we all played basketball. We were just friends. They were just friends, but I grew up in a more culturally diverse area.
Okay, listen.
Like Las Vegas is we grew up in schools that were
mixed.
everything.
Right.
And I never thought of anybody as being black, white, Hispanic. They were just
100%.
people I knew.
Okay, that's an interesting topic. I know it's because the NFL didn't have end racism. It brought us to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. You know that I've shared that with my kids? Because my kids are like, they're all, obviously going into college and stuff, and they're taught like all this racism stuff. And,
Right.
and by the way, they grew up with like a bunch of diverse
It's almost like
friends.
they make it
They made
easier to be racist.
It almost like, don't look. We're not naive.
Right.
Obviously, there's been terrible racism. Even now, I get it. And, we're both cops. I know that
Yeah.
there's been racism, even in policing. Of course, we see it, dude. Like, we're not naive and idiotic over that one. But I literally tell my kids that. And my wife now, she grew up in a really bad Hispanic neighborhood. She's part Hispanic anyways. That was, matter of fact, she jokes about when her family first moved to the west side of Las Vegas. And she was going to go to, I think, Garside or maybe just Bonanza High School. But she jokes how she told her mom, oh, my God, Mom, they're all white. Like, because she had never been to a school with all white.
Oh,
so she was mad about it. She jokes, my wife to this day, like, jokes about how she told her mom that. Like, and her mom was like, you're half white. What do you... But the point of that is I share with my kids, like, you guys, for some reason, the racism thing is really jammed in your faces. And not for some reason, sometimes, of course, righteously. But when we were kids in the 80s, and so we were in this weird, maybe we were in like a sweet spot.
It felt like a sweet spot because
Where,
there's
like,
something I
I-
didn't think about.
No, I can think of all these friends of mine, Scott, Ivory, all these guys. I wasn't a basketball player, but I did do sports growing up.
Right.
But my friends were just kind of a mix, like black, white, Hispanic. The street I grew up on was mostly white, but kind of mixed. And I'll never forget, I knew the Rodriguez family. They owned Mexican restaurants. But it was like, my point is, like, you kind of hung out with them. Mm-hmm. The nicest house on the entire street was the only black family that we like knew. They waved and everything. And I won't say their names, but just because I can't remember it. But they were like the most kind, loving. You just didn't. My point is, you didn't think about it
Right.
at all in school
I think-
at all. I never even thought of it.
It's weird
Didn't
now.
care.
It's like the media and social media and everything makes you think about it. It makes
yeah.
you think about it.
I think that's speaking of the sweet spot. I
Yeah.
think after all the civil rights movement, you still had one. We didn't see the bigotry being exercised in the streets because there was no media necessarily, right? So there was it was still happening.
Let me ask you this then, real quick. I know I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay.
I was listening to that. What about, as a police officer, what about cultural bias, though? Like, just because I think, like, because my wife's Asian. She's a good driver, but I'm going to say this. Like, Asians can't drive. Or blacks are, like, hoodlums. Or Hispanics are this. Or whites are white trash. I mean, you get those, what is it, racial bias?
Yeah.
Not racism. Yeah. But, you know, you see these bias, like I made fun of my daughter after the accident. I was going to get her a bumper sticker that said, teenage driver and part Asian.
Yeah.
So watch out. You know, but that's like that racial stereotype, racial bias. Like, you know, oh, blacks eat this, whites like this, and Asians do this. It's like, is that racism or is that just something that we grew up with? Because my black friends, we'd make fun of each other all the time about those stereotypes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing.
But now if you do that, they're saying you're a racist. But I'm like, we made fun of each other all the time because of our racial stereotypes.
There's a lot of, like, one is, what's the heart behind it? Are you being mean or are you just having a good time because you all love each other?
Right.
But also, there is some truth. Dude, I don't care. People want to try to be like, oh, don't be a stereotype. Don't be this and that.
Right.
There are stereotypes for a reason because there is truth. And a lot of it really is more socioeconomic, cultural, regional, and
Yeah.
And so, but if you're in a certain area of the country, maybe the deep south, like, you know, they always talk about like Atlanta, you know, you have these predominantly black neighborhoods. That's because black Americans very early on were brought through by slavery, and those populations stayed in those areas. And so they are huge black populations that, by the way, they eat a certain way because culturally that was part of their food culture. Right. But it becomes a stereotype because it comes from the culture itself, right? So
and I don't think
you can't be mad at. No, you can't be mad at.
Dude, my mother-in-law is Korean as Korean can get, and she eats rice like it's going out of business. I mean, and it's just the way it is. That's her culture. Kimchi and rice. Yeah. Sometimes she smells like kimchi. She's not even eating it. She eats it so much.
Because you eat it so much. But I mean, dude, same with the white trash thing, you know, the cultural kind of like the socio.
Yeah.
So it turns
you live in a trailer park. I lived in a trailer park.
I was just going to say, didn't you live in a trailer park?
I did.
They're a white kid with a poor dad?
Yes, we did, man.
But I mean, so that was more socioeconomic. But there is a racial thing there as well because people groups. By the way, and that comes from the Tower of Babel, and all these people were separated by language and then moving around. They, you know, so yeah, dude, there's stereotypes, and people do kind of have racial stereotypes that are mean and uncalled for. But for the most part, there's like a little bit of truth in a lot of that. But it's probably, if you really look at it, it's like I said, socioeconomic, maybe regional and cultural. In what do you call that when you're nationality type of stuff?
Yeah.
Of course, dude. You know what I mean? I'm sad, by the way, that national identity is sort of getting blurred because of social media. Yeah. And what I mean by that is one of my examples I always picture is I've always wanted to go to Germany. Never been.
Yeah, I want to go.
But I want to go.
Looks so nice.
Probably back in the 70s when look, I don't like that ladies don't shave their armpits and legs sometimes. But what I'm saying is, back in the day, German women didn't shave their armpits and their legs. They were known to not do that in the way.
I've seen
and
it.
Picture the leader.
When I was in the military, I seen the British women.
So nowadays, though, culturally, most of them now, if they're in a Western culture, they're basically Americanized. I hate to put it that way. And so you don't see that anymore. Yep. I kind of wanted to experience it because it would have been fun to see the leader hose. I'm just using
the hairy armpits?
Yeah, it's kind of a benign example.
Yeah, definitely.
But a weird one. But you see them. But
it's like a fetish you got or what?
Yeah, it's a fetish. It's armpits. No, dude. No, I'm just saying, don't you want to travel and see a culture be its unique culture?
I mean, I have.
You know what I mean?
When I was in the Navy, I seen that call. I saw Hong Kong when I was there was a British province at the time. It wasn't part of China. And I saw the Asian and the British. And at the time, it was like the women had hair. Like, I was shocked. I was like, jeez. Like, you got more hair on your legs
It's
than I do.
Such a gross example. I don't mean it to be the only one. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And then we went in these restaurants in Hong Kong. They're Chinese restaurants, and the food was delicious. But it was so gross in there. And I'm like, this would get an F in America for their thing. But yeah, I've seen a little bit. And then I went to Saudi Arabia. I was in Saudi Arabia, and that's a different culture, you know, with the women and all that. But yeah, so I've seen a little bit. But I do want to go to Germany because it looks beautiful. I like the villages. They all look very beautiful. So I agree. I don't want to see the hairy armpits, but
no, I don't really want to see the hairy armpits. I'm just saying because you have closed cultures, like a lot of the Middle East still has these closed. You mentioned Saudi Arabia because they have basically oppressive religious standards, and so they remain closed because because of that, right?
Yeah.
And then, but then you have any of these European, especially Western cultures.
Yep.
They're kind of so Americanized that you kind of, I feel like there's a little bit lost in the fun of these cultural identities.
Yep.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with it, dude. Yeah, racism in the negative way. Okay, end racism. Hey guys, if you're a racist and you hear this, I don't know if you know this, you should end racism.
End racism. Yeah, it's a good thought.
It's a great thought. Yeah, of course.
But just putting it at the end of the end zone, I don't know.
No.
You know, well, I forget when they put something else.
I don't even know what they put.
Something love one another or something. I don't know. Which sounds better. Or love everyone. I don't remember.
Okay.
Something about love.
I don't even know, dude.
I don't
even
either.
know.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. And
But
I watched football all year, and I don't remember even looking at the back of the end zone to see it say in racism. But I guess it did all year. So
yeah.
bottom line is, we're all God's children. So who cares? You know, I don't care what your color, race, religion.
No.
Well, I don't even care what your religion is. Might not agree with it, but we can still be friends.
No, 100%. But I do want you to know who Jesus is and that you're loved. And actually, on that note, on the racist stuff.
Okay.
We went to Kentucky. We went to the Creation Museum and to the Ark in Kentucky. Big shout out to those guys. The Ark, Noah's Ark, amazing, dude. It's life-size, like full-size according to biblical standard, and it's like a multi-story building that when you're pulling up to it from far away, you're just blown away, right?
Yeah.
But they had, you know how they have these, like, I guess they call them a road show in museums or an art show where it's like a special event during that time. Like you go to a museum and they're like, oh, currently we have nothing but a bunch of Vincent Van Gogh stuff in here. Like that's the road show or the traveling thing. One of those museums we're at, it's been a few years, they had the road show thingy called One Blood. And it was it was fascinating because it was the science of DNA and human ancestry and the Adam and Eve thing, but it was called One Blood. I still have a cup in my house. And they go through all humanity coming from Adam and Eve, which, by the way, the Bible, of course, points that out, but secular, scientific, and, anti-God, even antagonistic to religious people, scientists still call the first two human beings Adam and Eve. And they say all human beings come from one singular breeding pair, if I'm using their science type of terms. So they agree with what the Bible teaches. Now, they play the whole monkey thing, and I don't know where all these Neanderthals disappeared off to, how we still have monkeys and we still have all these other, but anyway.
They're not evolving anymore.
Right. So whatever. So, but the point is they had this One Blood thing, and it was fascinating because they talked about how these different races come out and how our, what is it? Pigment and body shape, body size, regional adaptations or microevolution, and how all this came about, and how you see people even to this day that they're a married couple and they kind of look alike. Have you ever noticed that? You see that sometimes?
Sometimes.
And it's because
I see some people look like their dogs too.
100% too. Yeah, exactly. But what they're saying is there's a science behind it. It wasn't all just Christian stuff. It was also looking at the secular side of the science, like saying, hey, this is what secular science is only proving what the Bible teaches. But the point of it is all this racism stuff, and the reality is we genuinely are all related.
Right.
Maybe back several thousand years, whatever, but it's all from one blood, one race. It's a pretty fascinating study. So
both of those were in Kentucky?
Yeah, both of those were in Kentucky. And in summary, end racism, because you guys are related anyway, so you should just learn to love each other. Yeah. And meet Jesus. And by the way, you're fearfully and wonderfully made by the creator of all things. And so if you just appreciate that and know that the rest of you're a little goofy, we're a little goofy sometimes.
We all are. But, yeah, I like it. All right, we'll end on that, John, because we did Super Bowl and racism. Good job.
Super Bowl is not that great of a game.
We shouldn't boo Taylor Swift. Is that what we're going to go with?
And then,
and even if you do, I mean, she's a superstar. She'll be fine.
I don't care. Yeah, she'll be fine. And
she'll be fine.
I didn't see what Trump said, and you're right. I like him a lot, but I kind of wish he would be a little more. I don't know. I don't want to say inclusive because that sounds bad nowadays, especially as a conservative. But I kind of wish he was a little bit more kind, compassionate
towards other people.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just needs to be as hardline as he is, dude, because everybody's tired of playing games.
No, I think that's the one thing that people really like. We're like, all right, we've gone so far to one side that we kind of like it now. So
maybe that's what we need. I don't know, man. Maybe when we talk about that another time, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think things are going good right now, though. So hopefully it keeps on rolling.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, man. We'll be blessed, everybody.